I'm just going to do the video this way. We all know that the average is in between something basing on the value of left and right. If we take the average of 2, all we're taking is the average of what you do know and what the other is. So the average, if you're going in temperature, okay, the forecast and the average are a little bit different. I'm not sure if you can see this paper. See that, what happens with this paper? Nothing on the paper, right? Because that's the forecast. If you want to get a little bit on the paper, look what happens to the paper as we change it and bring the light within a realm. But then you can no longer see who I am. So we're going to bring back the law and the average. The average of a 3-day temperature is what day 1 was, day 2 was, and day 3 was. Would that be the average? Or was it the last 50 years? The average of the last 50 years does not include this year until today. That takes the average, is then yesterday, that today will only be tomorrow. So not to confuse you and to move on with this video, we'll keep it short, that the average temperature of the week is on the 8th day. You only know the average temperature of a 7-day period on the 8th day. But when the information comes in after the 7th day, you imply it. How do you say to imply it? You imply that on the 8th day, you put all that together and you announce it either on the 8th day, but never at the beginning of the day, because you're only ending where the 7th day ends, only to come into the beginning of the next day. So that's where you get your average from. So the average of 3 days takes a minimum of 4 days to explain the average of the 3 days that have passed. And only on the 4th day can you explain the average of the 3 days. The second part I want to talk about is this. We're going to change the camera around. Boom. George is 57. 12 equals 3. G, 7 and 5 equals to 12 equals to 3. OR equals to 33, and GE equals to 7 and 5, 12. 3, 33, 3. Where 25, okay, which is R and G, come together, that is where 1/4 comes together of Christ. 25, 33 are right over here. But anyways, I don't want to mention that. In the word George, it equals to 57. The moon equals to 57. The energy, E and G, inside the gold, which is in the moon, is the moon 57 and George 57, which equals 114, Abraham. So the minimum of reciting an average, okay, the minimum of reciting an average, let me get this light right, is that 57 and 57 would be the average of 2, 114, okay? But the average is in between, equaling to 114 and 57 is 171, and that's where your gateway comes in. George, the moon, is the average number inside the gateway, the 7th gate, inside the eye of the moon, the aperture, the opening, right? You don't want it to open this way, round, right? Because when round closes, it closes from 4 sides, right? But an aperture that closes, boom. I'm only trying to bring out the second realm of a science. See, scientists sit together and they say, well, there's something missing. Well, you get a hojo like me, who knows absolutely nothing and tries to bring up something that somebody hasn't thought about yet. Now, either you have thought about it or you haven't. Either I'm crazy because you already thought about it, but I'm not crazy because you already know it. If it makes no sense, because you haven't tried it yet. And if you have tried it and it makes no sense, then why did you try it? Why did you even try it if I'm a hojo? Raphael, 7286 in a constellation of Pegasus. Let me see a little bit more. Moon time. Let me get that other one. TIME equals to 47. 7 times 4, 28, the cycle of the moon. 7 times 5 is 35. 7 plus 5 is 12. 12 and 35 equals to 47, the number in time. 47, 57 equals 104, and that is communication through the eye of the moon. Have you ever heard of this? These two words fit together in Scratch and in Christ, the artificial intelligence of the two words. I know my camera keeps switching on us. I'm going to have to save what that was, right? So now I locked in the vision. So we understand that scratch, okay, 19, 22, 40, 28, 31, 39. The sky inside Christ as at the end that connects scratch to Christ. Because when we came into the world, we had to have our scratch. To get through the world, you have to have the scratch. So I play with words and I show you how all these numbers, the law of averages. Another thing, alcohol brings you the flush. Alcohol makes you flush green. Trying to look through one fast. The air, artificial intelligence, air and fire. Here's one last thing in the 5-minute video. The X. Okay, let me fix this video over here so we can actually see this a little bit better. Okay, now I'm going to have to readjust these settings because I want to show you one more piece to this video. I'm going to bring down the light over here. Let me see. Let me hold up this book and see when I can start seeing the book. That's when I think the light. There we go. And I'm going to save it like this. Oh, there again, it went away. I don't know why it does that. Okay. So we're going to put that to the bottom. Now what I want to show you in this, again, it's going to... Oh, who wants to sit here and watch Mr. Tackmans when he can't even get his video straight? His light. Let's fix this light again. We're going to keep that there. We're going to keep this over here. We're going to bring the contrast back over here. Is that good? Want to see me a little bit? Okay, save. Oh, anyways, I can't fix that any better than I did right now. So what I want to talk about right now is this letter over here, this letter X. In fact, we won't even get to this. I'm going to leave it for the next video. Raphael 7286 in a constellation of Pegasus. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.